Welcome to the world of horror. Feels like we're there sometimes, but it's also the name of a #1 hit game. We've all probably heard of this one. This is a very successful game. Everyone's playing it on the YouTubes. I'm probably going to get internet famous off of this one. I'm sure of it. Hell yeah.
Next step, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh yeah. Good call.
It's retro. It's retro now.
In case you somehow don't know, this is a 2-bit sort of roguelike RPG sort of game.
Yeah, sort
done in the style of your Oberdin.
Part roguelike, part choose your own adventure almost. Oh, Jesus, that's offensive.
Yeah, you can customize the visuals in a lot of different ways. The Shrouded skin here is named after another 1-bit game, Shrouded Isle, which is another Cthulhu-based game. This is very heavily Cthulhu-inspired. Yeah.
Yeah, equal parts Cthulhu and Junji Ito.
Yeah. And it is in early open beta. This is an early access game, and I feel it's kind of flawed and really needs some work before it goes live. Like, it's an amazing game. You should absolutely buy it. But I am going to be very nitpicky throughout this video, and hopefully I will teach you better ways to play the game than the game teaches you, because it actually teaches you some bad lessons when you play it yourself.
Oh, yes.
Starting off right here, the recommendation is to play the School Scissors Mystery. That's a terrible idea. The School Scissors Mystery has a gimmick to it. It only takes place in one location. It does not teach you anything about the game itself. So do not do that.
Wasn't that the original story the game launched with?
Yes, that was the demo from like a year or so ago.
Because I played through that a few times and got absolutely nowhere with it.
Yeah. It's how most people were introduced to the game. It's not a good introduction to the rules of the game. The extracurricular activity option, that is nothing. It's just a waste of your time. It starts you off with a specific character and specific rules. Don't really take that one. The quick play option gives you random everything, and that's fine. That's an option worth having, but you always want to customize your playthrough if you don't want to do the random quick play. And that last screen there, completely useless. This screen here, input your seed, completely useless. There's no reason to see this at the beginning of every run.
There's a little Arkham, Massachusetts sticker on the suitcase.
Oh yeah, another one of the good things about this game is that there is no way in hell a single person will be able to keep up with all the horror references in this thing.
Gonna give it a damn good
and
chance.
they're good.
I'm gonna give it a damn good try, I tell you that much.
Oh yeah. If anyone could, it'd be you. But it'll put you to the test, that's for sure.
Nerd!
And speaking of, we're going to play as the nerd character, just as the default. The character select screen here and the background select screen, this is very good, very efficient. This screen I have no problems with. Gives you all the information you need, which is a lot of information. We're not going to worry about backgrounds, we're just going to use the default one that has no effect on the game, because the other ones unlock as you complete stories. This is where the seed options and the other options that we skipped through already, this is where they should be, because they're not important. So throw them over here, why not?
Yeah.
And we can also choose the difficulty. We're going to go with the default difficulty.
Because it's not like the game's not difficult enough.
Yes, this is a very hard game. Especially when you've been taught a bunch of bad lessons about how to play it incorrectly.
Yeah, as I said, I played this back when it first came out, and I've watched a few playthroughs of it since, just to see how it, if it's gotten to a point where it's not kicking you in the teeth constantly. Still waiting.
Yeah. I've been watching Super Great Friends playthrough of it, and
Funnily
it is
enough,
intensely frustrating, agonizing to watch.
Yeah, the one where you go to is it your uncle's wake? That one's just not fair whatsoever.
Yeah, it's very gimmicky, and the School Scissors story that I'd recommend you play is another gimmicky one like that. So it's a bad intro, I think. This screen here where you select the god that you're going to be going up against, it probably should be on the character select screen, but they did a good job integrating it as like a story element here. So I'm fine with the way they did that, even though it's inefficient. And I picked Goizo just to point out that if you get the bad ending with Goizo, it's one of the most creative and horrifying things I've ever seen.
Oh, cool.
So try that out sometime on your own time.
Don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah, I've only seen it once. It is really fucked up. It has stuck in my head ever since.
That's the best kind.
Yeah. That's obviously what World of Horror does best, is telling very, very good original horror stories.
Yeah, if the gameplay was as good as some of the really creepier moments of the game, it would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and honestly, I like the gameplay. It just takes a lot of trial and error to get it to a playable state.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
And even then, you still feel like there's bits and pieces you're not quite getting.
Yeah, even I put like 20 hours into it, and there's still stuff I can't quite figure out, don't really understand. Like this bath here, when you start out, you might be tempted to, try and refill your health or something, or just randomly click something. You always want to take the small EXP boost just for 5 extra points of EXP. But you never want to take it again because it is much worse than getting an actual health refill.
I mean, half the stuff that might buff you, results in you, like, crippling yourself for no reason whatsoever.
Yep. Very, very harsh consequences for basically every action in this game.
Yep.
So you're always going to need to refill as much health as you possibly can. And right here, there's a little hidden robot up on the shelf with free money inside.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. I had no idea about that.
Yeah. And that's a huge advantage. One fund is that can make or break a run right there.
Well, I mean, that means you can start off with a half-decent weapon or bribe someone at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. One fund is huge. No exaggeration. Now we are about ready to actually start the gameplay. Having dodged pretty much all the beginner's traps. I think I got through all of them.
We managed to go to the bathroom without getting ourselves scalded. Time to go to work.
Also, we looked in the mirror and the god that we chose attacks you through mirrors. But it doesn't happen. That's just sort of paranoia. Meant to stoke your fears. And the mysteries I've selected are on the least interesting side of the ones that appear in the game.
Yeah, this is definitely Shadows over Innsmouth.
It might be the starting point. They do like to play with your expectations if you are a horror fan.
Very true, very true.
Yeah. Because they are horror fans as well, so they know what to expect. I am fairly certain this game is made by one individual. So again, I'm being hard, but this is a miracle of a game. Like, it is very, very impressive.
I mean, the fact that they're able to update it without everything falling over like Jenga blocks is an achievement by itself.
And all the artwork is amazing. Very, very good facsimile of classic manga style.
Yep. Some of the later bits and pieces, as I said before, are very Junji Ito inspired.
Mm-hmm. Now here they just sort of dump you in the deep end. They circle the area that you have to investigate in order to progress the plot. You're just supposed to intuit that go to the circle area.
Not always the best idea, though.
Yeah, I definitely wasted some investigation time just going to random areas before I figured out that the circle is the way to go. Getting a weapon is very important. Your first stop when you come into a game should almost always be the store here. Introduce yourself to the dog.
Yay, doggo.
Yep. as with most games, the dog is the best part.
Weapon's very important as well, because you can't guarantee the fact that you're going to get one for a long time.
Yeah. Actually, you can guarantee it, but the one you're guaranteed to get is a terrible piece of shit that you don't want.
Which one's that?
When you are in combat, you have an option to improvise a weapon, and it'll give you a piece of garbage that you can swing at an enemy for a little extra damage. Like a literal piece of garbage.
Just throwing cans of Pepsi at people, hoping for the best.
Yep, broken beer bottles, sticks.
Which, if this was Yakuza, would be deadly.
Oh yeah. But we're fighting monsters, not mobsters.
I see what you did there.
I didn't even intentionally do that. It sure works.
Lovely. Milky, milky.
We got Moo Moo Farms milk. Our first investigation has nothing to do with the story that we're going through. Like, we're investigating sailors, but now we're investigating some suspicious guy on the street. We're not going to call the police, because fuck the police. We're going to follow the guy.
Only trust your fists.
Yep. So it turns out the guy is a LARPer.
Yeah, remember this one. Carry on, noble nerds.
Yep. That's another thing this game does very well is humor. Where you least expect it. It's very, very funny.
Seems like half the outcomes can possibly be, yeah, it's just some local weirdo, completely innocent.
Now, even though what we did had nothing to do with investigating the sailors, it did advance the plot because it was in the circled area. It's just kind of a disconnect that you have to get used to with the game. What you're doing does not necessarily make sense as things go on. But you gotta do it anyway.
Yeah. One of the things that the game does do, intentionally or not, is you get the feeling that there's a lot of rules going on that you're not privy to.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like, you know, there's some kind of weird god behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's probably intentionally disorienting to some degree, but they might have went a little too far. So now the circle has moved over to the mansion area. We're gonna go investigate that. And it leaves on a cliffhanger, our little info blurb as to what happened in the last investigation. We're peering through at something shocking. But while we're doing that, we are also investigating someone inside the mansion somehow.
Okay, so clearly the guy's going through a really messy divorce.
Looks like it, yeah. But we ransacked his house. We found an empty bottle. I didn't need to go buy the bottle from the dog.
That is just really sad.
Yep.
Oh dear.
And his divorce got really messy.
Yikes. Can I take that back?
Afraid not.
Ah, dang it.
Yeah, another hot tip was when you go to the dog, always buy the secret mystery discount item, because most of the time it is an empty bottle, and you're going to want an empty bottle for in between mysteries. And the other side quest that is on our menu screen, the info overload that the game dumped us into, was to discard 2 items. Now that we have an extra bottle, we have 1 item that we can discard. So I went to the hospital, despite having no injuries, so that I can steal another item.
Is it the skull? Tell me it's the skull.
No such luck.
Ah, dang it.
Yeah, we're stealing pills from the hospital.
Because that's always a good idea.
Yeah, it actually is an excellent idea. it gets you either 1 extra fund, because you can sell the item, or it'll let you recover 2 health. When, like I said, health recovery is also very, very important.
And very difficult.
Yeah, no kidding. So go rob the hospital when you start the game.
Especially when you get some of the nastier curses and that.
Oh yeah. Some of them are incurable, which completely fucks up your run.
Yeah.
There we go. Discard the item we just got and the extra bottle. And we completed our little side quest.
Did the bottle actually land on, or the pills actually land on the nets while you're at the hospital?
No, once again, complete disconnect between what we're doing and the effect that it has. Here, we find a book wrapped in human flesh.
Yeah, I think the thing that would creep me out more is the fact that it's covered in velvet, because the feel of that just gives me the, ugh. No, do not like.
Plus it had a rusty nail driven through it. When we stole the book, we got stabbed by the nail. And let's find out where we got stabbed.
It's a challenging book. I think that all literature should cause the reader physical pain.
Yeah, like why not slice your throat to read a book?
Okay, so our character clearly cannot be trusted with anything.
Yeah, no kidding. And that is one of the worst injuries to get. Every investigation we do from now on, we lose 1 health automatically.
That and the, was it the one where little holes start opening up in your flesh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of them are guaranteed to be lethal within a certain amount of time.
Yeah, if you can't get that cured, then you're fucked.
Yeah, we just went to the hospital. We should have done that after we got our throat slit by ourselves, but oh well. So now we're finally meeting a sailor. It's like we've been playing fucking Shenmue here.
I was going to say, make your Shenmue jokes now.
Been asking for sailors for 10 minutes and we finally found one. Then we interrogated him by staring at a rock.
Turns out it's just the local young men's fisher club. They're just wanting to go out, catch some fish, drink a few beers. Nothing sinister. Yeah.
And some of them have something writhing underneath their skin. But that's no problem with that. Nothing illegal about that.
Nothing wrong here.
So there we go. We've done enough investigation that we've completed the mystery. There's only one thing left to investigate. We have no choice in the matter.
Time for crab.
So there's our shocking twist. The sailors had all been infested by goo monsters, writhing under their skin.
Someone was clearly a big fan of the X-Files.
Yep.
The black oil.
And will be again in the next mystery. Spoilers. Because we did the side quest, we got the good ending, which drove all the goo monsters back into the sea. And for some reason, the goo monster decided to murder the one sailor's wife for no reason. No explanation there.
And just fuck this one woman in particular.
Yep. In between mysteries, we get, the god does something that fucks you up permanently. The one we got makes the hospital take longer and cost more money because of an epidemic that has broken out across the city.
Cool. That's not timely.
Life imitates art. Here's why you want your empty bottle. You can fill it with bath water and drink it later.
Suddenly we think that we're the leader of the Aum Shinrikyo cult. So he would sell his bathwater for like $100,000 a shot.
Yeah. Also, we're a gamer girl.
Oh yes, that too. I never thought there would be the day when I would see a link between those two things, but here we are. 2020 is wild, man.
We made it. That's the true world of horror.
And of course, no good pinboard is complete without lines of string connecting to things. So.
It can even be red string if you choose that color palette.
Yay.
So the alarming account of abnormal arms is probably the simplest and easiest mystery in the entire game.
Love the alliteration in this game with the chapter titles, or mystery titles.
Yeah, every mystery has an alliterative title. Just another bit of good writing. Pay very close attention here. We're investigating a murder that happened in our apartment building 3 years ago, and the apartment has remained vacant since. Just gotta take a little detour to get our throat unsliced.
Yeah, this has been kind of bothering me for the last couple of days. Would you mind, like...
I had to change my shirt. Come on.
It's just such a buzzkill.
Happens every time I try to read a book.
Should have seen her at the school library yesterday. Jesus.
And speaking of the school, that's where we're visiting, because it's where you can pick up allies to help you in your quest.
You say allies, I say cannon fodder.
Yep. That is their main use, is during combat. You can literally throw them at the enemy monsters.
Grist for the mill.
You might be a fan of Kairi here.
Yep. You always were such a kidder, Steve.
Yeah, he's made 2 references you'll enjoy.
Oh, I'm a fan of this guy.
Yep. Then we tell him a creepy story. It costs us 5 experience, but he is so terrified by our otherworldly experiences that he joins our party. And gives us -1 charisma because he's a dork who reads manga at school.
He's just really hoping that you encounter more deadly books.
Yep. And I guess he flung that manga over his shoulder, and our second student picked it up. And then she joined our party too. Another little beginner's trap here is you can only have 3 party members. It doesn't tell you that. You can keep trying to recruit more, but they'll just waste your experience and your time.
Yeah, it looks like there should be room for 4.
Yep. There are special story events that will allow you to have an additional 4th party member, but they are, temporary. And mystery specific.
One of the stories you can get your roommate as a party member. And they're actually usually quite good.
Yeah. That's our next door neighbor. We're actually going to meet her in this video, but we're not going to recruit her. I just thought I'd introduce her on video because her mystery, the one that you're talking about, is one of the best ones in the game.
Yep.
Right here, the only option we had was to increase our doom to get the negative outcome because we didn't have the option for the alternate way to go.
And 50 blessings must have been in Tokyo.
Seems like. This one seems like just a bad idea. Should probably just leave. But it's not an option.
Yeah, someone's been watching the autopsy of Jane Doe. Why is it a charisma check for that? What the hell?
Yeah, it gets very confusing. You just sort of have to remember which stat goes with which check. And that was all for the side quest for this level, which rewards us with -1 reason. One thing I do like about this game is that it calls your mental health stat reason instead of sanity. So, yeah, that's an improvement over pretty much every Lovecraftian thing in the last 20 years. You still do go insane, but...
Yeah. I was actually saying the other day that I was kind of lucky that I read most of Lovecraft stuff when I was a kid, because all the abhorrent racism just went right over my head.
Yeah.
So I got all the good stuff, but none of the bad.
But then you might have sublimated some of that racism. Oh no.
Dun dun dun!
Luckily you did not.
The racism was coming from inside the house.
So this is where you can meet your neighbor. Supposedly you can recruit her to your party, but she's not into it.
Seems to be a big fan of the King of Yellow. It's a yellow sign in the background.
Yep.
I told you, I'm gonna try my best. Probably missed like 50, but I'm gonna keep going. Hey, I need some money. Do you want some blood?
It's really the other way around. He's like, I need some blood. You want some money?
Well, you know, I've got this book in this mason jar. Just quickly check and see if you still got your liver and your kidneys.
Yeah, no kidding. He could have done a lot worse, I think. But we would have gotten more money out of it.
At least you didn't wake up in a bathtub full of ice again.
1, 2.
Uh-oh.
This investigation, this random event, it does sort of make, irresponsible portrayal of suicide, unfortunately, which happens throughout the game.
Yeah, and that is part and parcel of horror in a larger sense, but it could be a bit better about it.
Yeah. Happens from time to time in this game. Certainly not the worst. They are conscientious about stuff like that, but some stuff falls through the cracks. We got some bad news in the mail. A monster is after our immortal soul.
Ah, no, Aunt Gertrude's lost her face again.
And she's still sending us postcards.
Hopefully that's not Aunt Gertrude in the corner there.
So this is the only combat that I managed to get into in this entire video.
I'd say that's probably for the best.
Yes, combat will fuck you right the hell up.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you go without a weapon. But the thing is, this is a gimmick enemy, in that it is incorporeal, so we can't fight it normally. There's our improvised weapon option. That'll take up most of one of your turns. So you have 200 time points per turn, and each of your actions takes up a certain amount of points. Leaving an offering specifically takes up 105 points, so you can only do it once per turn.
Sever their ties to our world with a steak knife.
Yeah, we are literally cutting their soul out of the universe. But first, we're gonna throw money at them, because that also makes them go away faster.
Look, here's $10, just fuck off already.
But when you get into actual combat, you have many, many more options. It's much more complicated. Just pay attention to the wording of all your options. Make sure you read them all thoroughly. If it says a thing can be stacked repeatedly, a buff, then stack it, because you will benefit from doing so.
Some of the spells also make things really interesting as well.
Yeah, definitely.
The one that makes you grow extra teeth.
Yep.
So now you can bite.
Yeah, and many of your spells are like a fireball that deals a bunch of damage. Doesn't cost any combat time. Unfortunately, we only got a spell that makes threat levels not affect us during one mystery.
Yeah, like the most boring
Kind of a
spell
waste.
in the game. Practical,
Yep.
but really dull.
Ah, well. That's the benefit of the nerd character that I chose, is that she starts with a spell. Most characters do not. Drank my own bathwater to get a health back.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Tasty and nutritious.
This woman had less luck taking a bath than we did. So we can kind of intuit that check the bathroom might be either a perception check or a knowledge check. Both of our stats are pretty good there. Turned out to be a knowledge check.
You were smart enough to know not to go anywhere near the bathroom.
Yep.
You're automatically smarter than like 90% of all horror protagonists.
No kidding. And we just went to the boiler room to check on that blood pipe. But now we're going back because it's where all of the mystery elements have coalesced.
Well, that's going to be difficult to unplug.
Well, gotta check it out anyway. Dun dun dun.
Oh no!
There's your X-Files guy.
Yep, Eugene Victor Toombs. I like how they specify he's a dead pervert.
Yeah.
No, this guy specifically was doing it for sexual reasons, not just for shits and giggles.
Yeah. And if we hadn't completed the side quest that cost us one reason, we would not have taken that tiny key out of his mouth. Like, the only way to get that item, which is very important and useful, is to do that side quest for no reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm totally fine with not investigating the dead pervert.
But the thing is, this pervert committed that murder 3 years ago and has been working as the building's superintendent since then and has been stealing the other tenants' underwear. But when we find him, he's already dead. So what the fuck happened?
I've heard of being horny on Maine, but
And it seemed like he'd been dead a while, but did he like kill himself because we were getting too close to the truth?
no, my shameful secret.
Yeah. If he wants to improve this game, he should maybe consider adding another ending to that mystery, because it seems a little underdeveloped. But if you do get that mystery in your list when you start a game, definitely take it first, because it's very easy. It can help you set up all the upgrades and stuff you need. It'll get you an easy level up, and it'll get you that tiny key, which you can use in other levels. And this is the level up system. The perk that I chose was to get an extra spell at the end of each mystery that we complete. Obviously, if you get that early on, take it. And if you don't, don't. And I just wanted to show off those two simple, easy mysteries as a way to obviously get you to buy the game, because the game is fucking good as hell. And also to explain the ways that the game poorly explains itself. So maybe you'll have a better experience than I did.
It could do with having a proper tutorial mission, where they do it. They take great pains to explain what everything does, rather than just, okay, there you go. Maybe you'll work this out. Maybe you won't. Meh.
There is a tutorial, but it's kind of not specific enough, and it's a little bit tedious. It's just reading a bunch of pages of text. It's not very fun. I didn't find it very helpful.
Don't think that was in there when I last played it. I might be wrong, but I don't remember seeing anything like it.
Yeah, they might have patched it in. And the one last thing I had to show was the save and exit option. Do not ever use that option. It will reset you with all your health lost that you've suffered so far, any negative status effects you might have, but it takes away all of your items. It basically leaves you completely fucked. It gives you all the bad things that you had happen to you and none of the good things.
Hi, yes, why does this game hate everyone?
Yeah, it completely destroys the balance of the game. Just don't use save and exit until they figure it out and patch it to be better. Oh, also, immediately before this recording, I got an ending to a mission that I'd never seen before, which was a reference to the Guinea Pig film series.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it featured a mermaid design that was so disgusting and horrifying. I'd never seen anything like it. It was great, so more incentive to go buy it and discover that for yourself.
Anything that references guinea pig is either going to completely turn people off this or get them buying it immediately.
Yeah.
I think if you know what guinea pig is, you've already decided to buy it right now just upon mentioning it.
That's my hope. And hopefully you have learned some of the tips and tricks that I wish I knew.